Hey guys, what is up? By watching the 2017 NFL Draft and seeing free agency a couple months ago, or actually started up about a couple months ago, maybe 7 weeks ago, and watching it go through, watching the draft this past weekend, it made me think, what's the Steelers' 2017 roster gonna look like? So I took players that the Steelers acquired in free agency, took out the ones that they lost, and made the players that they took in the draft. So here's what I came up with. Okay, so the overalls aren't perfect, but I tried to do something where TJ Watt, being the first rounder, had the highest overall, and Keon Adams, being the last pick, he has the lowest overall. It's not perfect, and neither are the stats for the players. Like, I don't know if 75 speed is accurate for Dobbs, but that's what I came up with, guys. So, Big Ben Roethlisberger did decide not to retire. He is returning, so he is obviously going to be the starting quarterback. Now, excuse me. The commentators, after Joshua Dobbs got drafted, said he can beat Landry Jones for the backup role this season, which I'm all for. Now, obviously, the age isn't perfect, but I got their number, the height, the weight, the school, the name. I was able to get that stuff, which I'm happy with. I don't need to get everything correct. Like, I didn't know left or right-handed. I didn't, do a whole bunch of stuff. I kind of just kept it pretty basic. Like, Dobbs, I think, is 22, 23. He's not 20. Now, Juju Smith-Schuster is 20, but we'll get into that a little bit later. So, Joshua Dobbs with the 4th-round pick. All right, so now at halfback, you have Le'Veon Bell, obviously. Then you have Niall Davis, James Conner, and Fitzgerald Toussaint. Now, in my opinion, Fitzgerald Toussaint is going to be fighting for a roster spot, because you have Connor, who was just drafted, so he stays. Bell is the franchise running back, and Niall Davis is a great returner. So Toussaint's got to fight for a roster spot. And in my opinion, he's probably going to be gone. But this is kind of what I came up with. And I'm not sure if it's going to be Bell and Davis as the 1-2 punch, or if it's going to be Bell and Connor as the 1-2 punch. I'm hoping it's Bell and Connor. But as of right here, Connor's a lower overall. Fullback, Roosevelt Nix. Hasn't changed. All right, now wide receiver, the Steelers are stacked at wide receiver to the brim. Okay, guys? Antonio Brown, best receiver in the league. Boom. Martavis Bryant, reinstated by the NFL. He is back, so he is there. You have Eli Rogers, Sammy Coates, Juju Smith-Schuster. Actually, I had an issue creating this one because I did Juju for the first name. I went to go put Smith-Schuster. It was too long. So I actually had to put Juju space Smith for the first name and Schuster for the last. So then you have Darius Hayward-Bay, Justin Hunter, Kobe Hamilton, and DeMarcus Ayers. In my opinion, Hamilton and Hunter would be my guess for guys who should watch out. Because Haybay's been great on special teams for the Steelers and somewhat reliable in the passing game when they have needed him. DeMarcus Ayers, he's got to watch out too, but he can return. That's what he has going for him. He can return. And let's see, Juju just got drafted. Sammy's still on his rookie deal. Eli did great in the slot last year, or this past season. So he probably manned the slot position, and he's going to try to not give that up. Let's see. And I talked about Martavis Bryant and Antonio Brown already. Then tight end, you have Ladarius Green, who I'm hoping bounces back from his injury-riddled season. Jesse James, who really came on strong and impressed a lot of people, I think. Xavier Grimble fought to get on the roster, and he made it. And you had David Johnson as well. I would say the main, like David was a blocking tight end, Grimble was the receiving tight end, James was a little bit of both, and when Green was healthy on the field, he was the receiving tight end. Now, Colin Holba, he was selected in the 6th round. He is a long snapper. So I'm like, okay, he's 6'4", 245. What position am I going to play him at? And he was number 49 in college, so I decided, you know what? I'm going to play him at tight end. I'm going to give him the situation of John Dornbos. That's his name, John Dornbos for the Philadelphia Eagles. He is listed as a tight end, but you will never see him catch a ball in his life. He will never catch a football. He is a long snapper. That is what he is on the team for. But his position is tight end. So that's why I decided to have Holba at his tight end. Left tackle, you're going to have Alejandro Villanueva and Gerald Hawkins. Al's pretty much held that down for the most part. Hawkins could make a run at it. I mean, before he had that season-ending injury, people were saying he was impressing the coaches and could potentially take the spot. But, I think it's really Al's job to lose to that kid. Left guard. You have Ramon Foster, Chris Hubbard. Chris Hubbard plays pretty much every position on the offensive line. Foster is the starter. He did not allow a single sack in the 2016 NFL season. At center, Marquise Pouncey was finally healthy again. You have B.J. Finney, who played guard when Foster got hurt. And you have Greg Warren, the long snapper. But remember, Holba is possibly his replacement because he is 35 years old. At right guard, you have David DeCastro, and at right tackle, you have Marcus Gilbert and Kevin Milton. He was already there, so I figured why not keep him. All right, at left end, you have Cameron Hayward. He had an injured season. He played some, but he ended up weak. God, what was it? Whenever they faced the Cowboys, that was his last game of the season. And they signed Tyson Aulaulu from the Jacksonville Jaguars. So now he's on the team. He can pretty much play every position on the defensive line as well. You have Stephon Tuitt. He's locked in there. Has a good season. He gets 4 or 5 sacks every year. Pretty stable. You have L.T. Walton, who got some playing time this year due to Cameron's injuries. Now you have defensive tackle Javon Hargrave. He had an amazing rookie season. Played some D-end while Cam was hurt. You have Dan McCullers, who got some playing time because Cam was hurt. And you have Kashad Lyons. He was, again, already here, so... And actually, it took a little bit of mixing around to get this guy where he was and everyone else where they are. Because I done goofed on something, and I had to try to figure out a way to fix it. Okay, left outside linebackers. You have Bud Dupree. He's held that spot down, and he is not giving it up. And I believe when we get to the right outside linebackers, I'm going to show you T.J. Watt. I believe we have found his Bash brother. Now, someone who I think he's called like the linebacker or the defensive line guru or something like that. He has been working with Bud Dupree on his movements, his speed, all that different kind of stuff. And he thinks Dupree is going to get Defensive Player of the Year this upcoming season. So watch for him to have a big year. And also, I mean, he missed most of the season due to injury, slowly worked his way back, and in the very limited time he played during the regular season, he got 4 sacks. He came back as a monster, hungry, And this upcoming season, he is going to dominate. Behind him, you have Arthur Moats, good backup. He gets some playing time once in a while, and so does Anthony Chickalow. Moats and Chickalow pretty much split the left side when Dupree was hurt. All right, now you got middle linebacker Ryan Shazier. He made his first Pro Bowl this year. And if he could just stay healthy, he would be, talked about and argued as the best linebacker in the NFL. And not just that, but one of the best defenders in the NFL. But sadly, he does have his injury issues. Now, Lawrence Timmons left via free agency. He is now in Miami. Vince Williams is the next man up. It is his job to lose. Behind him, you have Steven Johnson, L.J. Fort, and Tyler Matakevich. These four guys are going to be fighting for that spot next to Shazier. All right, next you have right outside linebackers. James Harrison, the ageless wonder. He's going to be 39 years old this upcoming season. When his contract runs out, he will be 40 years old. Now under him, you have T.J. Watt, younger brother of J.J. Watt, and also younger brother of Derek Watt. If you don't know who Derek Watt is, he is a fullback for the San Diego Chargers. Now, you have TJ. They drafted him in the first round. He is going to take over for James, hopefully at some point during the season. So then James will be his backup, and you'll have Watt on one side, Dupree on the other, Shazier and someone else, most likely Vince Williams, in the middle. And also Keon Adams. He was drafted in the 7th round. He is from Western Michigan, though guess what? They don't have Western Michigan. So I had to pick Eastern Michigan. So I gave him Jarvis Jones's old number. Now Connor got his number of 24. Watt got his number of 42. Schuster got 19 because he had number 9, so I just put a 1 in front of it. Let's see who else. Dobbs got his number of 11. I think that's everyone we've gone through so far. Now, corner. You have Will Gay. He struggled. He played the slot once Artie got into the groove of things. It was Artie Burns and Ross Cockrell on the outside with Will Gay in the slot. Will Gay is getting old, guys. He gave up quite a few plays this year. He is getting old. The Steelers need someone to step up. And that's either going to be Cody Sensabaugh, who they signed in free agency, Cameron Sutton, who they just drafted, or Senquez Golson. They drafted him a couple years ago. He has yet to play a single snap in the league because he has had 2 season-ending injuries. They drafted Brian Allen in the 5th round of the draft. Also, Sutton got 29 because 37 it wouldn't let me give him. He got 29. His numbers were 23 and 7. I could have given him 30, but Cody Sensabaugh got 30. He had 30 with the Giants, so he got 30 here. So you have Cameron Sutton. I gave him 29, which was Shamarko Thomas's number. Senquez Golson. Brian Allen got 35. His number was 14. 4 minus 1 is 3. 4 plus 1 is 5. 35 for you people. He is 6'3", 215. He is a former wide receiver, converted to corner. And not to say that he's going to turn out like this player, but 6'3", former wide receiver, turned corner, 5th round pick. That describes Brian Allen and Richard Sherman. Sherman's 6'3". He played wide receiver before converting over to corner, and he was a 5th round pick. Not saying he's going to be Sherman, but who knows. Then you have Alhaj Shabazz. He was on the team, on the practice squad, on the team, on the practice squad, went to the Texans, back on our practice squad, and then on the team again. He's probably the odd man out, guys, because you have Allen, Golson, Sutton, Sensabaugh, Burns, Cockrell, Gay. That's like 7 guys. You need pretty much 6 or 7, so that means Shabazz is probably out. Unless, of course, Golson gets hurt again, which in that case, he's done. It's pretty much his final chance to prove that he's not just taking up a spot. At free safety, you have Mike Mitchell and Jordan Dangerfield. They were both on the team last season, and they're staying. Mitchell's pretty much held in his spot at free safety, and Dangerfield made the roster last year. Sean Davis, the second-round pick of the 2016 NFL Draft. Played nickel while Artie was hurt because he did play corner his final year at Maryland. Then finally took over the strong safety spot from Robert Golden, who's over here. Now, at times when Mitchell was hurt, Davis would go over to the free safety spot, and Golden would go over to the strong safety spot. Otherwise, this is Sean's position, strong safety. And that is his backup. Now you have Chris Boswell, the Wizard of Boz. He is an amazing kicker. They got him when Swisham went down, and he was like their 4th kicker, 3rd after Swisham went down. So they decided the competition would be between Chris and Sean. Sean did not recover from his knee injury. I mean, it was like a year, almost a year. He still hadn't really recovered. So they said, Sean, you're gone. Chris, congratulations. The job is yours. And he missed only 4 field goals, I believe, this past season. Jordan Berry, the Aussie, beat Brad Wing for the job a couple years ago. And here he is. Not really much to say. If you guys use Jordan Berry in either Draft Champs or Mutt or anything like that, for some reason he's super ultra fat. I'm thinking when they accidentally put in all the numbers and whatnot, they made him 6'5", 295 instead of 6'5", 195. But nevertheless, he is a very good punter, and I think the Steelers are set at kicker and punter this year. Okay, guys, that is just my quick little evaluation of the Steelers' 2017 NFL roster. This is what it's going to look like before we really make the cuts to the 53-man roster. If you're asked, now, Will Gay, depending on how some of our corners play, he could potentially be cut just because he gave up a lot of plays last year. And the Steelers have a lot of wide receivers. Someone's got to go. The Steelers did release Zach Mettenberger today. And so he would have been here, but he got cut today. He was signed from after the San Diego Chargers cut him last year in September after the preseason. He spent the entire season not taking a single snap, but I think that was good for him. He actually got some NFL practice in without being shoved into action when he wasn't ready. Tennessee. Sorry. So, guys, that's really all I got for this. This is our roster. This is what the Steelers have for now. Now, I don't know what they're going to list Colin Hulba at. I have him at tight end, but he's a long snapper. They could play him at any position they want. Now, if they keep the number 49, he'll probably be a tight end. Tight ends can have the number 49. Linebackers can have the number 49. Defensive backs can have it. but you're not going to see him play anything else besides long snapper. Like I said, it's probably going to be the same deal as John Dornbos. If you don't know who that is, he was actually on America's Got Talent for Magic. He is Magic, apparently. So, he also announced a draft pick during the draft. So, like I said, that's probably going to be the same situation. Now, they drafted Holba because he's 6'4", 245. He actually has good size, good frame for a long snapper. Other guys you're going to see, they're 6 foot, 6'1", 6'2". They're not big enough. Holba is big enough. All right? So if you're asking me who's out, Shabazz is possibly out. Ayers might be out. Toussaint's possibly out. Now, like I said, Jones may not be the backup. If Ben goes down again, which he very may will, he's getting older. He has most of his career missed a few games every season. So we're going to see potentially Dobbs. And the commentator said Dobbs can beat Jones for the backup role. Now, Dobbs drew comparisons to Dak Prescott. We all know who that is. If you don't know who that is, then you don't watch football. Okay? Now, Dak Prescott, oddly enough, was taken with the 135th overall pick in the 2016 NFL Draft. Joshua Dobbs was taken with the 135th pick in the 2017 NFL Draft. They were taken with the exact same pick. Dobbs has drawn comparisons to Prescott. And also, not only that, Dobbs is a rocket scientist. He's graduating with a degree in aerospace engineering. So, guys, comment on how you think the Steelers roster has shaped out. If you like it, that's awesome. If you don't like it, wait and see. Because, they got their needs. Outside linebacker, corner. That was their main need. They got a quarterback to back up Ben. Now, if Dobbs isn't the future, next year they are taking the future quarterback. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. They take the future quarterback. If it is not Dobbs. Okay? So, they got the backup quarterback. They got a backup running back to Bell. They got another wide receiver just in case if Martavis Bryant can't keep his promise that he's done messing around and can focus on football. Or if he struggles, if Sammy Coach struggles, they have a young receiver who can be there to be on the other side of Antonio while Eli Rogers is in the slot. They didn't need offensive line. They didn't draft offensive line. Greg Warren's old. They got themselves a long snapper. James Harrison is old. They got his replacement. Now when James retires, they'll have another guy. Keon Adams. He'll then be JJ's backup. Right? Now they didn't draft a safety like some people wanted them to. They didn't get a middle linebacker like some people wanted them to. But they got corner. They got two corners, actually. One being 5'11", one 6'3". Good size, not short, not too short. Obviously, the 6'3 is not short, but the 5'11 isn't too short. He's 5'11 and change. Same thing with Artie Burns. Artie Burns was 5'11 and change, but he was close to enough to 6 feet, where Madden says he's 6 feet tall. See? He's 5'11 and change, but they're like, you know what? He's close enough. He's 6 foot. Same thing with Sutton. He's 5'11 and change, but I don't know which one he's closer to. So again, just let me know how you guys think the roster is shaped out. If you like this video, please hit that like button. And also, I am now shooting for 50 subscribers. Now that we hit 20, we are now going for 50. I put out the 20 subscriber thank you video. My draft reaction is doing really well. Got some subscribers from that. I am going to be doing, I'm pretty sure I figured out some of the editing. So I recorded every single draft pick as it happened. So I'm going to try to edit that footage into one big video, and I'm going to give you guys that. And the quality is not going to be the best because it was recorded on my phone, but I'm going to try to make that work and get that out to you guys. So please hit that subscribe button. And that's not saying if you guys don't hit the subscribe button, I won't give it to you. I'm going to give it to you either way, but please hit the subscribe button. All right. Later, guys.